gentles all. Alas, what shall I say? My credit now stands on such slippery ground that one of two bad ways you must conceive me, either a coward or a flatterer. That I did love thee, Caesar, oh, 'tis true. If then thy spirit look upon us now, shall it not grieve thee dearer than thy death, to see thy Anthony making his peace, shaking the bloody fingers of thy foe?
I blame you not for praising Caesar so, but what compact mean you to have with us?
Friends, I am with you all, and love you all, upon this hope, that you shall give me reasons why and wherein Caesar were dangerous.
Our reasons are so full of good that were you Antony, the son of Caesar, you should be satisfied.
That's all I seek, and am moreover suitor than I may speak in the order of his funeral.
You shall, Mark Antony.
Brutus, a word with you. You know not what you do. Do not consent that Antony speak in his funeral.
Know you how much the people may be moved by that which he will utter? By your pardon, I will myself into the pulpit first and show the reason of our Caesar's death. What Antony shall speak, I will protest he speaks by leave and by permission.
I know not what may fall. I like it not.
Mark Antony, here, take you Caesar's body. You shall not in your funeral speech blame us, but speak all good you can devise with Caesar, and say you do it by our permission.
Be it so, I do desire no more.
Prepare the body then, and follow us.
Oh, mighty Caesar, pardon me, thou bleeding piece of earth, that I am meek and gentle with thee, butcher. Thou art the ruins of the most noble man that ever lived in tide of times. Woe to the hand that shed this caustic blood. Over thy wounds now do I prophesy. A curse shall light upon the limbs of men, and Caesar's spirit, ranging for revenge, with 8 by his side, come hot from hell, shall in these confines with a monarch's voice cry havoc, and let slip the dogs of war. You serve Octavius Caesar, do you not? Is thy master coming?
I do, Mark Antony. He lies tonight within 7 leagues of Rome.
Goes back with haste and tell him what hath chanced. Here is a mourning Rome, a dangerous Rome, no Rome of safety for Octavius yet. Hie hence and tell him so.
Romans, countrymen and lovers, hear me for my cause and be silent that you may hear. If there be any in this assembly, any dear friend of Caesar's, to him I say that Brutus's love to Caesar was no less than his. If then that friend demand why Brutus rose against Caesar, this is my answer. Not that I loved Caesar less, but that I loved Rome more. As Caesar loved me, I weep for him. As he was fortunate, I rejoice at it. As he was valiant, I honor him. But as he was ambitious, I slew him. Who is here so vile that will not love his country? If any speak, for him have I offended. I pause for a reply.
None, Brutus, none!
Then none have I offended. I have done no more to Caesar than you shall do to Brutus. Here comes his body, mourned by Mark Antony. With this I depart, that as I slew my best friend for the good of Rome, I have the same dagger for myself when it shall please my country to need my death.
Live, Brutus, live, live!
Bring her with triumph, hold her to her house.
Give her a statue with her ancestors.
Let her be Caesar.
Caesar's better part shall be crowned in Brutus.
You shall bring her to her house with shouts and clamor.
My countrymen!
Peace, silence, Brutus, speak.
Peace, her.
My countrymen, let me depart alone, and for my sake, stay here with Antony. By our permission is allowed to speak. I do entreat you, not a man depart, save I alone, till Antony have spoken.
Stay home, let us hear Mark Antony.
We'll hear him. Noble Antony, go up.
For Brutus' sake, I am beholding to you.
What does he say of Brutus?
He says for Brutus' sake he finds himself beholding to us all.
For best he speak no harm of Brutus here.
This
are blessed that Rome is rid of him.
Please, let us hear what Antony can say.
You gentle Romans.
Peaceful!
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is often turned with their bones. So let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus hath told you Caesar was ambitious. If it were so, it were a grievous fault, and grievously hath Caesar answered it. Here, under leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man, so are they all honorable men, come I to speak in Caesar's funeral. He was my friend, faithful and just to me. But Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. He hath brought many captives home to Rome, whose ransoms did the general coffers fill. Did this in Caesar seem ambitious? When that the poor have cried, Caesar hath wept. Ambition should be made of sterner stuff, yet Brutus says he was ambitious. When Brutus is an honorable man. You all did see that on the Lupercal I thrice presented him a kingly crown, which he did thrice refuse. Was this ambition? Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and sure he is an honorable man. I speak not to disprove what Brutus spoke, but here I am to speak what I do know. You all did love him once, not without cause. What cause withholds you then to mourn for him? Oh, judgment! Thou art fled to brutish beasts, and men have lost their reason. Bear with me. My heart is in the coffin there with Caesar, and I must pause till it come back to me.
Methinks there is much reason in his saying.
If thou considered rightly of the matter, Caesar has had great wrong.
And fear there will a worse come in his place.
Marked ye his words? He would not take the crown, therefore 'tis certain he was not ambitious.
There's not a nobler man in Rome than Antony.
Now mark him.
But yesterday the word of Caesar might have stood against the world. Now lies he here. Oh, masters, if I were disposed to stir your hearts and minds to mutiny and rage, I should do Brutus wrong, and Cassius wrong, who you all know are honorable men. But here's a parchment with the seal of Caesar. I found it in his closet, 'tis his will.
Well, hear the will. Read it, Mark Antony.
The will! We will hear Caesar's will!
Have patience, friends, I must not read it. It is not meet you know how Caesar loved you. You are not wood, you are not stones, but men. And being men bearing the will of Caesar, it will inflame you, it will make you mad. It is best you know not you are his heirs, for if you should, oh, what would come of it?
Read the will. Look here, Antony. You shall read us the will. Caesar's will.
I fear I wronged the honorable men whose daggers have stabbed Caesar. I do fear it.
They were traitors, honorable men.
The will.
They were villains, murderers, the will! Read the will!
Will compel me then to read the will? Then make a ring about the corpse of Caesar, and let me show you him that made the will.
Arene, stand round.
From the body.
Room for Antony, most noble
Nay, friends, press not so upon me. Stand far off.
Stand back!
Bear back.
If you have tears, prepare to shed them now. Through this, the well-beloved Brutus stabbed. And as she plucked her cursed steel away, mark how the blood of Caesar followed it. As rushing out of doors to be resolved in Brutus, so unkindly not will know. For Brutus, as you know, was Caesar's angel. Judge, O ye gods, how dearly Caesar loved her. This was the most unkindest cut of all. For when the noble Caesar saw her stabbed, ingratitude, more strong the traitor's arms, quite vanquished him. Then burst his mighty heart, which all the while ran blood. Great Caesar fell. Oh, what a fall was here, my countrymen! Oh, piteous spectacle!
Oh, noble Caesar!
Oh, woeful
Oh,
day!
traitor, villain.
Most bloody sight.
We will be revenged!
Revenge!
See.
Burn!
Kill. Let not a traitor live.
Let not a traitor live!
Countrymen! Kill the noble Antony!
We'll hear him, we'll follow him, we'll die with him!
Good friends, sweet friends, let me not stir you up to such a sudden flood of mutiny. They that have done this deed are honorable. I come not, friends, to steal away your hearts. I am no orator, as Brutus is. But as you know me, all a plain, blunt man that love my friend. I only speak right on. I tell you that which you yourselves do know. Show you sweet Caesar's wounds, poor dumb mouths, and bid them speak for me. But were I Brutus, and Brutus Antony, there were an Antony would ruffle up your spirits, and put a tongue in every wound of Caesar that should move the stones of Rome to rise and mutiny!
Mutiny!
Burn the house of Brutus.
Away then, come, seek the conspirators!
Stay, countrymen, yet hear me speak.
Here, Antony!
Most noble Antony.
Why, friends, you go to do you know not what. Wherein has Caesar thus deserved your loves? You have forgot the will I told you of.
Most true.
The will.
Let's say and hear the will.
To every Roman citizen he gives to every several man 75 drachmas.
Most noble Caesar will revenge his dead. Royal Caesar.
Moreover, he hath left you all his walks, his private arbors and new planted orchards. Here lies a Caesar, when comes there such another?
Never, never. Come away, away. We'll burn his body in the holy place and with the brands fire the traitors' houses. Take up the body.
Pluck down benches.
Pluck down farms, windows, anything!
Now let it work, mischief thou art afoot. Take thou what course thou wilt.
Take the conspirators! Burn their houses!
I dreamt tonight that I did feast with Caesar, and things unlucky do charge my fantasy. I have no will to wander forth of doors, yet something leads me forth.
What is your name? Whither are you going?
Where do you
Are you
dwell?
a married man or a bachelor?
Answer every man directly.
I am brief. I am wisely.
I and truly you were best.
What is my name? Whither am I going? Where do I dwell? Am I a married man or a bachelor? Then to answer every man directly and briefly, wisely and truly, wisely I say I am a bachelor. How you doing? That's as much the same here. Bear me a bang for that, I fear. Proceed directly. Directly, I am going to Caesar's funeral.
As a friend or an enemy?
As a friend.
That matter is answered directly.
For your dwelling briefly.
Briefly, I dwell by the capital.
Your name, sir, truly.
Truly, my name is Cinna.
Tear him to pieces. He's a conspirator.
I am Cinna the poet. I am Cinna the poet.
Tear him for his bad verses.
Tear him for his bad verses.
I am not Cinna the conspirator.
It is no matter. His name's Cinna. Pluck but his name from his heart and turn him going.
To Brutuses, to Cactuses, burn all! London and his house and send the sinner! Away, go!
These many then shall die, their names are pricked.
Your brother too must die. Consent you, Lepidus.
I do consent.
Lepidus, go you to Caesar's house and fetch the will hither, where we shall determine some way to cut off a charge in legacies.
What shall I find you here?
Or here or at the capital.
This is a slight unmeritable one. Me to be sent on errands. Is it fit the threefold world divided she should be one of the three to share it?
So you thought her and took her voice, you should be pricked to die in our black sentence and prescription.
Octavius, I have seen more days than you, and though we heap these honors on this one, to ease ourselves of diverse slanderous loads, she shall but bear them as the ass bears gold, either led or driven while we point the way.
You may do your will, but she's a tried and valiant soldier.
So is my horse, Octavius. 'Tis a creature that I teach to fight, to wind, to stop, to run directly on. And now, Octavius, Brutus and Cassius are levying ours. Therefore, let our alliance be combined.
Let us do so. For we are at the stake and bade about with many enemies. Some that smile have in their hearts, I fear, millions of mischiefs.
Your master, Pandarus, hath given me worthy cause to wish things done, undone. But if she be at hand, I shall be satisfied.
I do not doubt that my noble master will appear, such as she is, full of regard and honor.
She is not doubted. A word, Lucilius. Has she received you, that may be resolved?
With courtesy, with respect enough, but not with such familiar instances, nor with such free or friendly conference as she hath used of old.
Thou hast described a hot friend coolly. Ever know, Lucilius, when love begins to sicken and decay, it useth an enforced ceremony. Comes her army on?
They mean this night started to be quartered. The greater part, the horse in general, are come of Cassius.
Hark, she is arrived.
Most noble sister, you have done me wrong.
Judge me, ye gods! Wrong I mine enemies? And if not so, how should I wrong sister?
Brutus, this sober form of yours hides wrongs, and when you do, Cassius, be content.
Speak your grief softly, I do know you well. Before the eyes of both our armies, which should perceive nothing but love from us, let us not wrangle. Bid them move away. Come not to our tents till our conference is done.
That you have wronged me doth appear in this.
You wronged yourself. Remember, March, the Ides of March, remember. Do not great Julius bleed for justice' sake? What villain touched his body that did stab and not for justice? What shall one of us that struck